Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to play the T22 medium and talk about the tank, because when this tank was first released in the game, it was OP. It was completely broken. Nobody really know how to deal with it, and it was really known as like the medium IS-7. It's a medium tank, Russian. It has the pike nose with great armor, an insane amount of DPM for what it is. So armor on this thing, 230 mil on that turret. Now the DPM, we're looking at 3,219, but we are running it with calibrated shells. Reload time is 5.75, so without the calibrated shells, you're probably looking at around 3,500 DPM. So yeah, very, very good. With everything else it's got with the armor profile, etc., it really is amazing. 252 penetration on your AP, 330 on your heat, and 55 on your HE. You have a 310 alpha gun, 260 on your heat, and 420 on your HE. Aim time is 3.4, and your gun dispersion, when we get to it, is just 0.281, which is really, really good for a Russian tank. And you've got your gun depression is just 6 degrees. So yeah, you do suffer with that gun depression, but you get used to that. Your top speed is 55 kilometers per hour. So is the tank still OG? Is it still the OG premium in tier 10? In some aspects, yes. In some aspects, yes. In some aspects, no. Because lately, Wargaming have been changing tier 10s, especially when it comes to mediums. The T62, the STB, the E50M. There's loads that Wargaming have made better. And that's why this tank, yes, it's still good and it's still fantastic, but it's not as good as it once was, only because all the other mediums around it have got better, and that's where the whole difference is. But yeah, it's still great. You can still get bounces. People obviously know how to deal with it a lot easier than you used to. Look at this E4. I mean, this is frustrating. This is the E4 after the buff. It's very, very frustrating. I mean, I keep shooting at the hatch. I should just change because I am getting very, very annoyed. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for a different target right now. So let's go for the IS-7, who's not looking at us, and we are able to get a few shots into him before he decides to sort of move. But at the moment, given the opportunity, I mean, this tank is very, very good for brawling, because if you're brawling, you are constantly moving sort of side to side. Your turret, it does become very, very frustrating to deal with, because you will get bounces in this thing. Like if you're looking straight at someone, of course you're not going to get as many bounces as you'd hope, because they will start aiming. But you start wiggling, then you will get bounces. Now I do have to thank the Progetto right now, because he's literally leaving this standard B for me to deal with. I'm like, okay, 3 damage that I don't really have to share. Thank you very much, Progetto. I appreciate it. Of course, I'm not going to leave that tank when I could deal with him pretty quickly, especially with the HE. But at this point, even now, we're just running along around the map, and we are now going to get behind these heavy tanks. So far, 2,100 damage done. Nothing special, but there is just 4 tanks on the enemy team, and there's still 6 of us. So yeah, I do still think it is very, very good tank. Now, Wargaming don't sell the tank as much. I mean, it took them a few years to be able to sell this tank for gold. I mean, it originally come Christmas, that cost people £500–600 to actually buy in the winter. The Christmas sort of, the globe or whatever it was back then. So yeah, it cost people a lot of money to get the tank back in the day. And then after that, you used to only be able to get it in crates. Now, Wargaming have sold it for gold, and they've sold it recently for gold for sort of 22.5, 25,000, something like that. Which, yeah, I'm very surprised that Wargaming ever sold this. It was one of those tanks that I thought, you know what, they're never going to sell this tank outright. They're never, ever. Yeah, they're going to bring it in maybe at the Christmas fair, But other than that, I think it will just be for crates. And Wargaming done that for a very, very long time. In fact, the first time that Wargaming bought this tank in the game or made this tank available in the shop for gold was, I believe, Christmas Day a couple of years ago, and it was only in store for 24 hours. So yes, believe it or not, the first time they ever put this tank in the store that you could purchase it for gold was Christmas Day, and only 24 hours, literally. I mean, there's not a lot of people who log into the game on Christmas Day, because Christmas Day is not about playing Blitz, you know, it's about family time. So of course there are a lot of people that wanted the tank that missed out on the tank because they just didn't, you know, they didn't sign into the game, because why would they? It's Christmas Day. They're not going to sit there and think the T22 is going to come available in the store on Christmas Day just for a day. But yeah, that is what happened. But, you know, Wargaming have put it into store more recently. So if you did want the tank, you have been able to get the chance to get the tank. And I definitely think it is one of those tanks that should be in your garage. Like, if you're able to save up the gold. Of course, I'm not going to sit there and say buy crates to be able to get the tank. But if it does come for sale for gold, then yeah, it definitely, if you've got the gold, then yeah, it is worth getting in your garage. And again, it's not the same as it used to. It's not as OP as it used to be, because just people know how to deal with the tank now. If you can, there are certain ways that you can play the tank to make it even better. Reverse side scraping is absolutely amazing. If you can search reverse side scrape in this tank, then yeah, do so. Like, don't try to actually get into a side scraping position, but like, if you're able to, you know, like, don't try to chase getting it into that position. Like, if you're sitting there and it's like, oh look, I'm in this sort of position, I'll be able to reverse side scrape, then do try and do it, because you'd be surprised that the armor profile is very, very good. But if you do try and side scrape when you're sort of facing forward, then just like the IS-7, you know, the pike nose becomes a lot weak, and it is very, very easy for people to be able to shoot that pike nose. So yeah, try to not reverse side scrape. If you are in the open, yeah, all I would do is try to wiggle, you know, because believe it or not, you will get a lot of bounces. Even if you are in the open, just wiggle your tank, go side to side, back to, you know, back to back, turret everywhere. Just try to make it difficult for the enemy to be able to deal with. And you'll be surprised at how many bounces you can have in this tank. Face hugging against side scraping, sort of side hugging against tanks is a good thing to do as well. I mean, I've not really been shot at this game, but yeah, I've lost most of my hit points. But this game, you can see, like, we haven't bounced anything whatsoever, and we are going to continue not to bounce anything this game. So, but overall, you know, very, very good game, very easy. And do I like the T22 medium? Yes, I do. I absolutely love the T22 medium. It is definitely a tank that you should have in your garage if you get the opportunity to get the tank. And it is still good. It is still the OG, one of the OG mediums in the game, but it just doesn't come for sale that often because of how good it actually is. But some people say the tank's not the same. Of course, it isn't the same, and a lot of that is because people just know how to deal with it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the T22 medium. But for now, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.